colony of Avarice Station floated near the dark edge of the galaxy, far away from the busy star lanes. It was a quiet place, built by a peaceful alien race that believed distance meant safety. For many cycles, no warships had passed through this region, and no alarms had ever sounded. That silence was their comfort, and also their greatest mistake. On this day, the silence felt different, heavier, almost painful. Long-range sensors picked up movement, slow at first, then growing fast. A fleet was coming, large, organized, and hostile. The enemy ships moved, like shadows across the stars, blocking the light as they advanced. Inside the command hall, leaders gathered with fear in their eyes. They knew the symbols on the screen, and they knew what followed such fleets. The enemy was known for wiping out small colonies without warning. No negotiations, no mercy, only fire and ruin. Avarice Station had no real defenses. Their shields were old, their weapons weak. They were builders and traders, not fighters. Every calculation showed the same result: total destruction within minutes. Panic spread through the lower levels of the station. Families held each other, and workers stopped pretending they were busy. Some prayed to ancient stars, others simply stared into space. No one spoke about escape, because there was nowhere to run. One of the elders stepped forward and suggested a last option. It was an idea pulled from forgotten records and old stories, a distress signal sent into the void, calling for any help at all. Most leaders did not believe anyone would answer. The records spoke of many spacefaring races, some powerful, some cruel, some already extinct. But one name appeared again and again, always followed by doubt: humans. The stories said humans were unpredictable. Some called them brave, others called them reckless. Many believed they were gone, destroyed by their own wars long ago. No human ships had been seen in this region for centuries. Still, the signal was prepared. It was weak, broken, and outdated. The kind of signal no modern fleet would even notice. Yet it was sent, because hope had nothing left to lose. As the message vanished into the dark, the enemy fleet grew closer. Their ships formed attack patterns with cold precision, weapons powered up, filling space with silent threats. The stars around Avarice's station seemed to dim, the station shields activated, glowing faintly. Everyone knew they would not last long. The first enemy ships moved into firing range. Time itself felt slow and cruel. Then something strange happened. All sensors spiked at once, then went silent. Not destroyed, but overwhelmed. The space ahead appeared empty, yet wrong. The enemy fleet hesitated. Just for a moment, commanders demanded reports, but no clear answers came. The void in front of them looked calm, too calm, as if space was holding its breath. A low vibration passed through the station. Not an impact, not an explosion, but a presence. Energy. Readings climbed beyond known limits. The air itself felt heavy. From the darkness, something began to form, a shape, massive and sharp, cutting through nothingness. Meadow reflected distant starlight where nothing should exist. The impossible was arriving. On Avarice Station, every screen flickered back to life. One image filled them all, a single warship, larger than any record, silent and waiting. And for the first time since the signal was sent, hope returned. The sudden appearance of the warship froze everyone in space. Both the enemy fleet and Avarice Station stopped all movement. No one fired, no one spoke. It was as if the galaxy itself was unsure of what it was seeing. The ship floated between the colony and the enemy. It did not rush forward or power weapons right away. Its surface was dark and rough, marked with long scars. It looked old, yet powerful, like something that had survived many wars. Alien scanners tried to identify it. Data poured in, then failed, then restarted. The ship did not match any known design. Its energy readings were stable, deep, and controlled. The enemy commanders felt unease spread through their ranks. This was not part of the plan. Their intelligence reports had said this region was empty. No allies, no protectors, no surprises. One enemy officer finally spoke, demanding identification. The message was sent on open channels, sharp and full of threat. There was no reply at first, only silence, heavy and deliberate. On Avarice Station, the leaders watched with wide eyes. They did not cheer or celebrate. They were afraid this new arrival might be another danger, or worse, an observer waiting to see them fall. Then the unknown ship moved, not fast, not aggressive, but confident. It adjusted its position with perfect control, placing itself directly in front of the colony. That single action sent a clear message. Whatever this ship was, it had chosen. Aside, the enemy fleet reacted at once. Weapons locked on, engines flared, formations tightened. Again, a message was sent to the unknown vessel, this time with a countdown and a threat of destruction. The response came at last, simple, short, and calm. This system is under human watch. The words echoed across every channel. Translators struggled for a moment, then confirmed the meaning. Humans. The name spread through the enemy fleet like poison. Some laughed, calling it a trick. Others felt old fear awaken in their memory core. Human stories were banned in some empires because they did not end well for the enemy. On Everest Station, confusion turned into shock. The elders checked the ancient records again and again. The symbols on the hull matched old human markings. The legends were real. The human warship powered up its outer lights, revealing its full size at last. It was massive, far larger than a single patrol ship. This was a war vessel built for survival. Enemy sensors focused on its weapons. They detected cannons, missile bays, and unknown systems, but none of them were charging yet. The human ship was waiting. The enemy flagship commander felt insulted. One ship standing against an entire fleet. To them, this was arrogance, not strength. They gave the order to prepare. A full attack. Fighters launched and moved into position. Main guns aligned with the human hull. Power levels climbed to maximum. The space around them vibrated with tension. The human ship did not move. No shields flared. No weapons fired. It simply remained there, calm and unmoving, as if daring the enemy to try. On Everest Station, hearts raced and hands trembled. Hope and fear mixed into one painful feeling. If the human ship fell, there would be nothing left. The countdown reached its final moments. The enemy commander raised a clawed hand, ready to give the firing order, and in that breath of silence before war began, the humans still did not blink. The enemy commander gave the order to attack. Fighter wings launched from massive carriers. Bright engine trails cut through the darkness. The assault had begun. On Everest Station, alarms screamed again. Crew members braced for impact. Some closed their eyes, expecting the end. The human warship did not retreat. It did not dodge or hide. It remained in position between the colony and the enemy. Like a wall that refused to fall, enemy fighters opened fire first. Streams of energy bolts filled space. They struck the human hull and shields and vanished without effect. Confusion spread through the attacking pilots. They increased firepower. They changed angles and attack patterns. Nothing worked. Heavy enemy cruisers joined the assault. Long-range cannons fired in perfect timing. The blasts lit up the void, yet the human ship remained untouched. Inside the enemy fleet, fear began to rise. Weapons that once destroyed worlds now failed. Targeting systems reported no damage. No weakness could be found. The human ship responded at last, not with full force, but with precision. Small weapon ports opened along its hull, silent and controlled. Human point weapons activated. Short bursts of energy fired. Each shot found its mark. Never wasted, never rushed. Enemy fighters were disabled mid-flight. Engines cut out. Weapons went dark. Ships drifted powerless instead of exploding. A mercy they did not expect. Cruisers tried to pull back, but human targeting adjusted instantly. Their propulsion systems failed one by one, leaving them floating and helpless. On Everest Station, disbelief turned into awe. The humans were not fighting with anger. They were fighting with purpose. Every move had meaning. The enemy commander shouted new orders, demanding maximum fire from all ships. They believed overwhelming force would win. It always had before. The full fleet attacked together. Beams, missiles, and plasma filled space. The sky burned with light, a storm of destruction. The human shields flared briefly, then stabilized again. Energy was absorbed, redirected, and neutralized. The technology was beyond understanding. The human warship advanced for the first time. Slow and deliberate, each movement sent a message. Humans did not run. Enemy ships fell silent as the human vessel moved closer. Their confidence shattered. Their formations broke. Fear replaced pride. The human ship fired a focused blast. It struck an enemy command cruiser. The vessel lost power instantly. Leadership vanished in a moment. Without coordination, the enemy fleet faltered. Some ships hesitated, others attempted to flee too late. Chaos spread. On every station, hope burned brighter than fear. The impossible was happening. The enemy was losing, and humans were still holding back. The human captain watched the battlefield calmly. This was not yet the end. The true warning had not been given, and the enemy was about to learn it. The enemy fleet was seconds away from firing. Weapons were locked. Crews waited for the final command. The human warship still did not move. Its silence felt stronger than any threat. Inside the human vessel, the bridge was calm. Officers stood at their stations without panic. They had trained for moments like this. They trusted the ship and each other. At last, the human captain spoke. His voice was steady and clear. It carried across all open channels. Every ship heard it at the same time. This is your final warning. We are human. We do not seek war. The message paused for a moment, not because of fear, but intention. Then the captain continued. We protect those who cannot protect themselves. On Avarice Station, the words struck deep. Some elders lowered their heads in relief. Others felt tears form for the first time. In many cycles, they were no longer alone. The human captain spoke again. His tone did not change. You have entered a protected system. You will leave now? The enemy commander responded with anger. They called the humans weak, outdated, and foolish. They mocked the idea of protection. They believed numbers always won wars. The enemy fleet tightened formation. Power surged. Through their weapons, their commander rejected the warning. They chose pride over survival. The human warship finally reacted, not with fire, but with light. Its shields expanded outward, wide and bright, covering Avarice Station completely. Alien sensors struggled to understand what they saw. The shield was layered and adaptive. It adjusted to every scan and probe. This was not defensive technology, they knew. The human captain gave one last chance. You can still turn back. This does not need to end badly. The offer was real, not a trick. The enemy fleet hesitated. Some ships drifted out of line. Fear crept into their ranks. They had never seen an enemy offer mercy. But the flagship pushed forward. The commander shouted orders across the fleet. They demanded the attack begin at once. The moment of choice passed. The first enemy shot was fired. A bright beam cut through space. It struck the human shield and vanished without effect. Shock rippled through the enemy fleet. Their strongest weapon had done nothing. No damage, no reaction, just silence. The human captain sighed softly, not in fear, but disappointment. You were warned, he said, and you did not listen. The human ship began to change. Sections of its hull shifted and opened. Energy readings spiked across all sensors. Space itself seemed to bend. On Avarice Station, alarms sounded again, but this time they were not warnings. They were signals of something. Vast awakening, something controlled. The enemy fleet tried to pull back. Orders changed from attack to retreat, but it was too late. The human warship had already chosen. A deep hum rolled across the void. Low and powerful, like a distant storm. The human weapon was charging, and the galaxy was about to learn why humans were feared. The deep hum from the human warship grew louder. It was not noise, but pressure, a force that pressed against hulls and minds alike. Even before the weapon fired, fear spread. Enemy crews struggled to keep control. Their instruments flashed warnings they could not read. Power systems failed, then restarted, then failed again. Nothing behaved as it should. The human ship remained steady. Its systems worked in perfect balance. Every movement was measured and calm. This was not rage. This was discipline. The enemy flagship tried to turn away. Engines burned at full power, but space around it twisted slightly, as if escape itself was being denied. On Avarice Station, everyone watched in silence. No one cheered. No one spoke. They sensed this moment was not about victory, but truth. The human captain gave the final command. There was no shouting, no drama, just a simple order: fire. The weapon activated without flash or explosion. A wave moved forward, slow and unstoppable. Space bent around it like water. Stars behind it seemed to stretch and fade. The enemy flagship was hit first. Its shields collapsed in a single breath. Its massive hull cracked and folded inward. Then it vanished, erased from existence. Shock froze the rest of the enemy fleet. They watched their strongest ship disappear. No debris, no survivors, just empty space where it once ruled. Panic followed instantly. Enemy ships broke formation. Some tried to flee, Others powered down in surrender. Their commanders lost all control. The human weapon did not chase them. It did not sweep across the battlefield. It stopped, precise and limited, because humans knew when to stop. Several enemy ships lost power and drifted helplessly. Others jumped into hyperspace in blind fear. Their retreat was messy and desperate, nothing like their confident arrival. On Avery Station, sensors confirmed the threat was gone. The sky slowly returned to normal. Stars shone again without distortion. The silence returned, but this time it felt safe. Alien leaders struggled to understand what they had seen. This was not simple destruction. It was control beyond any known force, power held back by choice. The human ship powered down its weapon. The hum faded into nothing. Systems returned to quiet operation, as if nothing had happened. Enemy survivors sent no more threats, no final words, no promises of revenge, only fear-filled silence. The elders of Avarice Station realized something important. Humans were not feared because they destroyed worlds. They were feared because they could, and chose not to, across distant systems. Emergency signals spread. Reports of the battle moved faster than light. Empires whispered the same name in private channels: humanity. Old warnings were remembered again. Never corner a human, never test their patience, and never harm those under their protection. As the void settled back into stillness, one truth became clear to all who watched. This was not the end of the story, it was the lesson before the final words. The battlefield was quiet once more. Drifting enemy ships floated powerless in the distance. No weapons fired, no alarms sounded. Only the soft hum of distant stars remained. On Avarice's station, crews slowly returned to their stations. Fear gave way to disbelief. Then disbelief turned into deep relief. They were still alive. The elders gathered again in the command hall. Their hands trembled as they reviewed the sensor logs. Everything confirmed the same truth. The humans had saved them. A communication channel opened from the human warship. The signal was clear and strong, not demanding, not proud, just present. An elder stepped forward and spoke with care. They thanked the humans for answering the distress call. They asked the question that filled every mind. Why did you come? The human captain appeared on the main screen. He wore a simple uniform, marked by age and service. His eyes were calm, but carried great weight. He did not rush his answer. Because someone asked for help, he said. His voice was quiet, yet firm. As long as that signal exists, we will hear it. This is what we do. The word spread through the station. Crew members stopped and listened. Some felt tears form without understanding why. It was not just rescue, it was recognition. The elder bowed in respect, a gesture of gratitude and trust. They asked if the humans would stay, if they would claim the system as their own. The human captain shook his head. We do not take what is not ours. We protect, then we leave. Your future remains yours. The human warship began preparing to depart. Energy levels shifted. Engines warmed. No celebrations, no speeches, just duty completed. Before leaving, the captain spoke one last time. Rebuild your defenses, stay alert, and never believe you are alone. The channel closed gently. The human ship turned toward the void. Its massive form slowly faded, then vanished, as if it had never been there. Across the galaxy, the story spread. Traders carried it between systems. Pilots whispered it in spaceports, and commanders listened in silence. Small colonies gained new courage. They upgraded their distress systems. They believed help could come, even from the darkest void. Enemy empires changed their maps. Human protected zones were marked with warning symbols. Some chose peace over conquest. Others simply avoided those stars. On Avery's station, life slowly returned to normal, but something had changed forever. Fear no longer ruled their nights. Hope had taken its place. In the deepest reaches of space, human warships continued their silent patrols, not as conquerors, but as guardians. Watching, waiting, listening, the galaxy learned a final truth that day. Humans did not rule the stars. They stood between the weak and the dark, and because of that, no one was ever truly alone.